This is the Baesic with Bailie.
This is the Baesic with Bailie.
And what made you decide you want to do this?
So I just am an overshare by nature. I share everything I do, essentially. So people just ask me about a lot of the things I do. And in fact, the day that you and I started talking about doing a podcast, one of my friends messaged me on Instagram. She's like, we should do a podcast episode together. I'm like, well, that's really weird because I'm texting my friend Collin right now about doing a podcast. So here we are.
I was like, at first I was like, this is a good idea. And I'm like, yeah, it's a great idea.
We're doing it.
Why not?
We're doing it.
Why not?
Here we are.
And so, basically, you and I just kind of shot it back and forth, and we were like, okay, so let's just decide to put a bunch of podcasts, so your husband does one.
Yeah, so my husband and his buddy at work used to do a sports podcast. His buddy doesn't work with us anymore. We all work together in my family. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't work with us anymore, but Jacob still wants to do his podcast. It's a sports podcast called Foul Play, I think. It's all sports themed, but Jacob is a avid baseball fan, if you know either one of us.
Oh my God.
If you know either one of us, you know he's a diehard Dodgers fan. And
all Dodgers all day.
All Dodgers all day.
So, first of all, what exactly are you going for with this podcast? What do you want to do?
So, I think I just want to share things that I do every day that people ask me about to just give more of an idea of what I do every day. I mean, I don't do anything complicated. I'm a mom. I have 3 sons.
Three beautiful sons.
3 beautiful boys. My oldest, my stepson Cooper, is almost 12. He's going to be in 6th grade, which I can't believe. He's been in my life since he was 3. So,
quick.
I know. And then the little 2 are 6 and a half, a 1st grader, and then 3, Cal. Everybody knows Cowboy. I mean,
yeah,
they're all wild.
Yeah, I could not believe how big Cal was when I walked in.
Yeah,
I haven't seen you in 4 months.
It feels like I see you more often because we talk, but
yeah, we just snap.
Yeah, Cal has the total Peaky Blinders haircut with the long on the top. It's freaking adorable.
He's a good looking kid.
He's really good looking, I do have to say. Which Cal looks just like his dad. Bodie looks more like me.
So you're a mom of 3 kids. You work a full-time job. You're also an amazing cook.
Yeah, I do love to cook. Yep.
I'm not a very good cook.
Well,
I can barbecue. But that's the extent of my
cooking. My husband can't really cook that well, but he can grill really well, and I'm not confident.
I feel like it's on the man to learn.
It is.
As soon as I got married, I was like, I want to grill, and I wanted it for Christmas. And then Traeger, I got the smallest grill Traeger got, and then all of a sudden on my doorstep is the largest grill. And I'm like, I did not pay for this. And then they were like, we don't want it back. I'm like, cool.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's on the man to learn to barbecue, and then you take it upon yourself to.
Yeah, and actually on our we have a regular gas grill, and then we have a Traeger too, because when we moved to this house, we already had our Traeger, and then there was a grill here. So the Traeger, my husband has started smoking pork, and this weekend I'm going to smoke a salmon, so stay tuned for that.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
I like
it. Yeah, I mean, we love grilling, and he's really good at grilling, and smoking.
Yeah, nice.
Smoking pork.
So what kind of grills does he have? He has a Traeger, and then he has.
We have a Traeger grill, and we have a Viking grill. The people who we bought our house from put in this super cool Viking grill, really? And it has one small section of it is a hibachi grill, and so when we
explains a lot of your snaps.
Yeah, when we make hamburgers at home, Jacob has hamburgers down to a T. He makes them the super super thin ones, so he makes them on that hibachi grill, and they're so thin and juicy, burger night here is we have burgers all the time here.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. So, you also have a blog, and I've read a lot of your work. Actually, I was talking to my mom last night, and she's like, I'm like, what are you doing tomorrow? I'm gonna go record a podcast with Bailie Saz at her house. And she's like, I read your blog. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I'm like,
I love your mom.
Spread all the way to Shonda, who
is... Well, I mean, it's thanks to the socials, Facebook. I mean, I'm friends with your mom on Facebook, that's how she sees it.
Yeah. So what was your last blog entry?
I just shared a blog post today of the corn dip that you just talked about earlier. I shared that this morning. So
cheers.
Cowboy caviar, gotta try it. It's so good. All my friends love it. My mom loves it. My aunt loves it.
Right.
Actually, Jacob and the kids even eat it. And Jacob is coming around. Like, he was a super picky eater when we started dating. Like,
I was too, and then I went to college.
I tell this story all the time.
Go ahead.
The first time I ever opened his fridge and looked in it, there was a gallon of milk, probably for Cooper, who was 3.
I love him.
And a tub of barbecue sauce, like not even a bottle, like it was in a Tupperware, a barbecue sauce. And that was it in the fridge. And there were some frozen pizzas.
Jacob and I can be great.
That's all he had.
Yeah, men are animals. We're savages by nature.
Absolute animal. I'm like, how do you survive and feed your son? He's like, well, when Cooper's here, like, I'll go and pick up food before I pick him up, and so we'll cook or we'll have whatever. I'm like,
yeah, okay, so like your last, so it was before the corn dip. You had a travel post, and you'd gone to where?
Oh yeah, so we went to Denver the weekend after the 4th of July.
Yeah. What was it like with COVID?
It was fine. I mean, it was really so nice to get out of town. You had to wear masks pretty much everywhere unless you were outside. And even still then, like, if you were walking past people, sometimes people had them on, and I kind of felt bad if I didn't, which I know I shouldn't.
Yeah.
But
I think the rule is like outside you can have them off.
The rules outside you can have it off. If you're walking into a hotel, if you're walking into a restaurant, you have to wear it until you're to your room or to your table.
Yeah.
So
somebody told me a story today. They were walking across the parking lot. They had the mask in their hand, and they're completely alone. And then this lady's like 12 feet away from him. She's like, "That mask isn't doing anything in your hand." And then he just like lost it because he just like lost control. He's like, well, just stay away from me. Like,
yeah, like,
just stay away.
Stay away. I literally am not breathing on you if you're 12 feet away from me.
Yeah.
And the social distance is 6. So, and honestly, nobody should be that close to me. Or you.
You had a Topgolf thing on there.
Yeah, we went to Topgolf in, I think it's Centennial.
What was that like during COVID?
It was packed. We had to wait, which we didn't reserve a table, and it was just the 2 of us. Mm-hmm. But we had to wait for about 45 minutes, and it was a 3-level Topgolf, which I've only been to 2 Topgolfs.
I'm going Sunday for me and my wife's double birthday because we have like
you guys are
8
right.
days apart.
Yeah, that's right.
No, 6 days apart.
And she's a year older than you, right?
Honey, I'm sorry.
She's a year older than you, right? That cougar.
Yes.
Katie.
Yes, I got a cougar, and I'm so completely happy we're having our first kid.
I don't know how you got her.
I don't know either.
She's great.
So, yeah, no, I completely agree. I don't know how I got her. So, back to the blog. So you went to Denver. Do you guys like go to different hotels, or you just like pop in, or do you like stay in one place, or do you like do 2 different nights somewhere? Because like I think there were like 3 hotels in your blog post.
Yeah, I did a blog post of like my top hotel choices, and those were hotels I looked into all those when I was doing my research into Denver.
Yeah.
Kind of elaborating on trips. We've, several of our first trips together, we would go places and I had nothing planned. I didn't know anything about the area. I knew nothing. So now I get to the point where I plan our trips so much, my husband's like, can we please not have an itinerary?
Can we just have a little downtime?
Yeah. So like I will make reservations and this and that, and I like know the streets and the street names, and it's over the top.
Wow.
But it's over the top. But now I've gotten to the point where I can kind of find a middle ground. And so anyways, for the hotels, yes. Mm-hmm. No, we did not stay. Yeah. We only stayed in one hotel. Okay. But I kind of try to I love looking at the highest end hotel. I can't afford $1,000 a night.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
but
no way.
I want to look at the hotel, and if somebody else can afford that, I'm going to give you that recommendation.
Yeah. So, like, what's your go-to search? What do you do? Like,
I love going to Pinterest. Like, Pinterest is my number one search for travel, hotels, travel, eats. Anything travel related, I go straight to Pinterest first.
Cool. So you're planning a trip. how do you get your airline tickets? What's your go-to search? What do you got?
I just use Google Flights a lot, especially if I'm just traveling close. I mean, there's the airport out of Joplin, which is very close to me, and it's very, very convenient, and they only fly American. So I can search Google and out of Joplin, and it's really limited. You have to connect out of Dallas or Chicago every time. But if we're going somewhere bigger, me and my husband went to Europe last year for our 6-year wedding anniversary, and we used a travel agent for that. She booked our flights for us and our hotels for us. She gave me a bunch of options for the hotels. And
do you think people need a travel agent? Like, I mean, you're from a small town. You're going 20 minutes to an airport outside of Joplin, and then you're flying American. I mean, that's a small airport. But I think the Joplin airport might be like the secret of the Midwest.
It totally
you get
is.
To Nashville, Dallas, random Denver, apparently.
Well, you can't fly direct. You have to connect. You have to, if you're flying out of Joplin, you have to connect in Dallas or you have to connect in Chicago.
I don't think I've ever flown out of Joplin.
So it's just, it's not really any more expensive. When Jacob and I went to Denver last month, it was $170 per person round trip out of Joplin.
Wow.
It's typically like, in years past, to fly from Joplin to San Francisco, for example, because my friend lives there and I've tried to go out there a ton. It was like $500 to $600 out of Joplin, which flying to San Francisco is not always the cheapest anyways, but still Joplin was always a little bit more expensive, but it's so much more affordable now, and especially since they've increased having the Chicago option, which the connecting option in Chicago, so you can go more northeast.
Gotcha. Okay, so we got flights, we got hotels. What do you do? So obviously Jacob needs to go to Topgolf. Like,
obviously
that was his stop. Like,
well, I was gonna take him golfing. Like,
oh, nice.
He doesn't ever take his golf clubs or anything.
Golf?
No. I don't have the patience for that. I will drive. I probably won't even drive all the way with set passenger seat and drink.
Yeah, my wife golfs.
I want to learn, but
you gotta take lessons.
I'm gonna have to take lessons because I'm not good at it, and I only do things that I'm like semi good at because I just get so frustrated.
But you were an athlete in high school.
Golf is different. Like, I played all the sports, and I loved all the sports. My sister, not athletic at all. But she played golf, and she was amazing at it.
I mean,
so, how's that work?
What do you mean? What part? How's that work?
How's it work that I can't golf?
But you were like an all-star basketball player, and
mostly softball. Softball was more my sport, but I liked basketball a lot.
Did you pitch?
I pitch. I was a pitcher.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm trying to remember. I keep forgetting, like, we've known each other, like, our whole lives.
Yeah, it's so funny. So I lived in the house literally across, there's a pond next to me. I lived in the house across from me growing up. Colin lived, like, right down the street.
Yeah.
And our entire childhood.
Speaking of which, what's it like to now have a house, a family, and a husband right next to the greatest go-kart crash I've ever seen in my entire life? So, just preface this, we were, like, kids. We were like 7, 8, somewhere in there. Maybe.
Yeah, I had to have been 7, 8 years old, and you're like,
you and your sister are like in this makeshift go-kart, and picture whatever you're thinking about a go-kart right now. It's not that.
So
it was like aluminum.
My grandparents used to live across the street.
Yeah.
And my grandpa, who is 90, used to race go-karts.
Oh.
He would like soup them up, and they would go real fast and they were loud. Really? And so that's exactly what that thing was. It was one of his like racing go-karts.
That's crazy.
They lived right across the street. Me and my sister would go over there and get the go-karts, and they had like scooters and all this fun stuff.
You had it one day, I think.
Yeah, we had barely had that thing.
Tight turn, and then it flipped, and then you guys are just running. Like,
I smashed my sister in my face off the concrete with that thing. It was not a good look.
And I was just standing there. I was like, whoa.
My grandpa took that go-kart and sold it the next day.
That was probably my first, like, Instagram moment that you constantly see on Barstool or something like that.
Yeah, I wish that would have been on camera because that would have been freaking hilarious. I still have my front tooth is chipped from that.
you gone? What's the farthest place you've gone, first of all? I want to know that.
The farthest place I've gone has to be Amsterdam, right? I mean, Holland is a little bit farther than Germany.
It's like
I've been to...
Yeah.
So I've been to 10 countries. I've been writing this out because I love traveling and I have all these goal places I want to go.
What's on your list?
In the very current future... What? Current future? In the very
You're fine.
recent... What's the word I'm looking for?
In the next
In the very
few years.
near future. In the very near future.
Perfect.
Me and my sister really want to go to Austria and Poland. I say me and my sister, I want to go, and she's just like, you plan the trip, I'll go. So I want to go to Austria and Poland.
I like Mackenzie's style.
My sister, like, she doesn't really care that much.
I like your sister's style.
She's very introverted where I'm extroverted, where I'm like, hey, let's go do. And she's like, eh.
I like to land a place, and then I figure it out.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll have a hotel.
Yeah.
And that's your base camp, and then from there, you just kind of spread out.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to Cabo again in, like, next month. Probably around next month for a BP party. Bachelor party.
A BP.
A BP.
A BP.
And we're basically going golfing, so I have some connections there, so I'm just basically like, all right, well, I'll just hit these people up when I get there.
Yeah.
You're
like,
never that.
Well, I haven't. Whenever I go places where my college friends live, like all my college friends live all over the country.
Mine too. Yeah.
Like, so if I go places where they live, it's a little bit different because I have them to rely on for planning, and they can like tell me the good places to go eat and stay and all that stuff. But whenever it's just like me and my husband going on a vacation for our anniversary. Like when we went to Paris and Amsterdam last year for our anniversary, and I had to do a bunch of research because I wanted to, like know the area. Everything's in a different language in both countries, obviously. So you want to know what's going on in the area. You want to have a little bit of knowledge of like, hello and goodbye.
Yeah. So you study a little language on the plane or something, or?
Before we went, I did like just a little bit of research. Like literally, again, Pinterest. I would just Google like French language, and it pulls up.
Man.
Literally, just like the most common words you would need to know. Hello, goodbye.
Yeah.
How are you? My name is.
Yeah.
Like the most basic knowledge, and like I've written about before, like it is just important, especially if you're going to a foreign country. It's just a little bit respectful to be able to speak to them, even if they can realize you don't know how to speak the language. It's a little bit.
Don't speak louder English. Like just start yelling at them.
Right. No, like you're.
Do you know where the hotel is?
One, you're in their country.
Yeah.
So like, don't be an ass.
Yeah.
And two, like it's kind of fun to learn, is it not?
No, I agree.
It's so fun to me to learn the foreign language. Like, and Jacob, he didn't try to learn any French, but he picked it up. Like
he's American.
He
American.
can. If anybody knows Jacob, like he will just start spouting off everything.
Oh,
so.
I don't actually think I'll be able to go to a foreign country. I mean, unless it's Mexico. Like I have people down there I can go stay with, and so I don't think I'll be able to go to a foreign country again for a while until like So I'm having a kid.
When's Katie due?
November.
I mean, that's gonna be here. I mean, it's already August, the middle of August almost already.
I'm so stoked. I have tons of parenting questions for you, but like we'll get to that later.
Yeah.
So basically, I don't know when the next international trip I'll have.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to travel.
I'm totally focusing on domestic. So I've never been to Seattle. I've never been to Chicago. I've never been to Chicago.
Well, I hadn't been to Chicago until the Dodgers were there for a baseball game. So me and Jacob hightailed it up there for a baseball game.
I like his commitment.
Dude, you have no idea. You have no clue the baseball commitment I made whenever I married my husband.
I like his passion for him, though.
When we go on vacations, we plan our vacations if the Dodgers are in town a lot of the time. Just so happened to be when we got married.
You're planning around your blog. I feel like it's a fair compromise.
When we got married in Scottsdale, Arizona.
Love it.
The Dodgers were in town.
I did not know that. Did he go?
Of course.
So like the day
it was like
before...
it was Thursday. I think we flew in on Thursday,
Yeah.
or I think so. It was a Thursday day game.
Yeah.
We got there for the baseball game.
I remember being on Facebook and seeing your wedding, and I was like, whoa, because I hadn't seen you in forever.
Yeah.
So
kind of crazy, right?
And then I had moved back to the area, and just randomly seen you around, maybe like the fair or something, or around at work. And you're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing video now, doing random stuff for, my family's company. And you were like, we need to hang out. Like, we need to catch up. And then
we've kind of been talking and hanging out since then.
Actually, if it wasn't for this girl and her ability to be on Pinterest and analyze things, I would not have been able to pick out a wedding ring. Or afford a wedding ring. You gave me a job. And then
So 2 years ago this coming Christmas, Colin made my company's Christmas video for us. We have a Christmas party, and he did our
back when there were parties.
Can't have a Christmas party I don't know if we're going to be able to have one this year. I hope so.
I'm like totally lost. I realized that I want to marry this girl. I'm 100. I was like, I have to marry this girl. And so I'm like, I need to find a ring, and then I need to be able to afford a ring. So I just start selling my talent on an open market. I'm like, anybody needs a video.
I will do any video.
I was like, I'll do anything. And so I raised as much money as I needed within 5 months. It was the longest 5. She's like, why are you working so much? I'm like, you'll see.
There's a plan for this.
And then I was like, oh my God, I don't know how to pick out a ring. And so...
Hello, Bailey.
I analyzed everyone I knew, and I was like, I feel like Bailey Sass can help me out here. And so I called you up. I was like, I need your help picking out a ring. You were there almost immediately.
I'll be there.
Yeah, we went to go look at a ring, and you're looking at all of Katie's Pinterest pictures. And
yeah.
You're like, I think she's gonna want.
You sent me a couple of ideas. You don't give yourself enough credit. You knew what she wanted.
No, all right.
You knew what she wanted, but I think you just needed some reassurance from a girl that's not the sales girl,
Yeah.
From a friend that's not going to lead you astray.
Because, first of all, I'm terrible at shopping. I'm real bad at shopping.
Most men are. My husband won't buy clothes or things like that because he's too afraid that I'm going to hate it. I know a couple of girls that their husbands will buy them a nice dress or things like that, and it's so sweet, and they do a good job. I think Jacob doesn't give himself enough credit either. Like I said, you could have picked that ring out yourself. You pretty much did pick it out, if I'm remembering correctly. We were drinking wine.
Well, it's free.
If there's a bar there, if there's a bar in the jewelry store, you're drinking wine.
Yeah, exactly.
They want you to drink wine, so you'll spend more money.
It worked. It worked real well.
Well, you're married, and
that lady was real
you're
nice.
married with a child on the way, so who's the real winner?
Man, I just bought a house. Did I not tell you?
No!
Oh, God! We've been talking about podcasting so much, I didn't even
How did you leave that out?
So...
Where's it at?
We close at the end of this month,
okay.
So I don't have it. But so it's right on the border between and I'll tell you later.
Okay.
Because I realize we're recording right now. And so I've been looking for months. I've put 3 offers on houses, and I was immediately outbid. It was crazy. And so I found a house. We're closing on at the end of the month. I'm a homeowner. I'm going to be a new dad. It's a crazy year. I got married last year. I just had my 1-year anniversary in July.
It's been a busy year. Oh, and that, I felt so like the worst friend ever whenever I couldn't come to your guys' wedding, and I had RSVP'd for me and my family my basketball team. But yeah, my face totally stopped working. I had shingles in my ear.
Whoa.
So I got a new family doctor who is my dad and my grandpa's doctor. They've both had cancer, so they go to this really good doctor, and I got in with him. And turns out I did have shingles in my ear, and for the first 6 months we thought it was Bell's palsy. My face just totally stopped working.
That's what you told me.
My face just totally stopped working. It wouldn't move.
Well, I wouldn't go to a wedding
No, like heck no. But this new doctor I went to diagnosed it as Ramsay Hunt syndrome instead of Bell's palsy. Ramsay Hunt syndrome is shingles in your ear canal that causes facial paralysis.
Oh, man.
So my face was paralyzed.
Wow.
Half of my face.
Yeah, nah, I feel you could have done the Phantom of the Opera.
I should have just worn a mask.
Just a little, yeah.
A half facial
wearing
mask.
a mask before they were gonna be.
Yeah, I would have brought them back.
You know, sometimes I think I had the last real wedding, like the party and the people and.
Yeah, I mean, very close to it. So Jacob and I went to Europe in September of last year. Mm-hmm. The weekend we got back, I went to a wedding in Kansas City. We went to Florida in January for a quick weekend.
So you really got it all in, like, before it all.
Yeah, I mean, who knew? So you guys can find all of my recipes, all my lifestyle tips about plants, just mom life, anything like that, my travel tips, travel updates. You can find this all on my blog at bailiesize.com. You can also find all of my recipes on my Instagram stories. I share everything there.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Check back next time.